of Enzo Bonafè's Wholecut Chelsea boot in the navy Zug leather. I did a collaboration with Solegarb on this. You can check out the videos that I've done about that collaboration right here. It's where I talk about the different group made to order options and what this boot was going to be. Hey, before I jump into these boots though, I want to throw out an idea. Let me know if you guys are interested in me doing a recap of both my favorite, my least favorite, and shoes or shoemakers I wish I would have tried and am most eager to try in 2023. If you would like to see or hear what that would be, let me know in the comments and I can get that video out in the next couple of days. Let's get back into the boots. All right, so here we go. This is navy Zug leather, Horween Zug, Wholecut Chelsea boot by Enzo Bonafè, and this is the group made to order, kind of the urban commando style boot where we've got 360-degree Norwegian construction, full commando outsole, and just overall thrilled with this boot. I'm not gonna bury the lead there. Love this boot. This is a group made to order, and full disclosure, I got this pair of boots at no charge. This was a collaboration between Solegarb, who is Enzo Bonafè's domestic reseller or kind of purchaser within the United States, and this was a partnership that we came up with together. I designed the group made to order options. Obviously, Solegarb Lorenzo facilitated everything and coordinated the payments, the delivery, all that kind of stuff. This is Wholecut Chelsea boot on the 74945 last, which is the kind of contemporary, most popular last from Enzo. And that's something that kind of translates into his Oxford makeups, his Ballway boots, Chelsea boots, jumper boots. It's really one of the most popular ones if you're looking for a more contemporary, chiseled, or at least a soft square toe. The idea behind this boot really stemmed from Lorenzo being able to procure this navy Zug leather from Horween. My understanding is Zug leather is just a heavily waxed, oiled Scotch grain, and it's still tanned, it's still produced today, not in navy though. This was like a dead stock batch of leather. Lorenzo was able to coordinate with Skip Horween from the Horween Tannery to procure this kind of palette of navy Zug leather. It took probably 3 or 4 years for him to get it, and then once he got it, he was like, all right, we got to do a group made to order for this. Reached out to me, asked me to come up with the designs. I already had a few pairs of Ballway boots from Enzo Bonafè, and while I really liked the idea of them, none of them really worked out fit-wise. There was always a little bit of finishing that was just enough off to kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth, and all those thoughts were going on in my head as I was trying to figure out what makeup should we do with this. That's where the Wholecut Chelsea boot came into play. Let's try to pick a pattern that'll really be a great demonstration of the leather, but then also be extremely versatile, something that can be as aesthetically pleasing as functional. So this is where we brought in the 360-degree linear Norwegian construction. We did it in a dark stitch so that it would basically blend in, kind of be like an under-the-radar detail. You really can't see it unless you're looking for it or you know it's there, as well as the Vibram 100 or Vibram 101 Commando outsole. All of these elements really come together to kind of put a sleek take on a urban commando or urban assault style boot, which I have one from Mecariello that I absolutely love, and a Chelsea iteration of that was a very enticing offer, especially in a collaboration partnership like this, where I can really kind of work with the group that I'm able to establish and kind of feed in some of those influences that I've had over the years and be able to share those designs with everyone else. So there was a second boot that was being made. That is the jumper boot. That is still in production. There should be, I believe, in January. The fit on this is spectacular. You can see, the videos that I'm playing here where I'm wearing it, It's a very snug fit. There's a single flex point right across where the joints are on my toe, and there's no overly snug portion of the boot. It's almost as if it was a modified last. I actually asked Lorenzo if we did a modified last because I was that surprised about how comfortable this was. Not just comfortable, but how well it fit. And we did not. This was just a stock UK 7.5. Now if we move away from the fit for a second and we just look at the aesthetic of this, all of the details, this is heavily loaded. It's a very robust shoe, the textured leather being navy, have you, and then the Commando sole, the 360 Norwegian construction. There's just a lot going on. The fact that we kind of toned it all down by doing very dark brown, almost black finishing on the edge on the Norwegian stitch, it really brought this boot together. It made it so that it wasn't too busy. There wasn't too much like natural color kind of popping out, contrasting against the rest of the boot. It's really a holistically well-balanced shape, as well as kind of there's a sense of like harmony in the theme. Like all the colors, very, very calming, very like, just relaxed. But the actual like stance of the boot is very strong, and that's kind of where that juxtaposition kind of like comes into play and makes this work very well. Another element that I absolutely love is this leather. The leather itself though, this again it's Scotch grain, but it's Zug, which means it's got a waxy, heavily oiled, kind of like over dyed and overstuffed tannage to it. So it's not waterproof, but for a Horween leather that is going through one of its standard tannages with the retan, like it's as close to a waterproof leather as you can get without just like plastering, like patent leather out there. So as I've been wearing this over the last, week, I've worn it 3 times already. It's been in the rain, it's been in the mud. Literally, the stuff just like runs right off of it. Like nothing is absorbing into the leather from the elements perspective, and it's just making this really live up to what it was supposed to be, which is kind of a no worries type of boot. You can just throw this thing on and have at it. You don't have to worry about kind of like polishing it up. You kind of brush this up. The waxes bring out a nice subtle shine. You go in the rain, step in a puddle, this boot is really built to handle it all, and every single element of this has lived up to exactly what the expectation was, if not exceeded. I can see it now where, it's like, oh, well, you got a free pair of boots. Of course, you're going to be overly positive about it. You're going to say that you hated this shoemaker, now you love them, you got free shoes. Who cares? I don't really care. I get it, but in reality, like I designed this from the ground up, and the shoemaker like delivered literally and figuratively, in the sense that like they nailed every detail exactly as we asked them to do. Once you really know what it is that you like about anything, whether it's shoes, electronics, clothes, once you know what you like and you've kind of gone through that evolution, every purchase, every experience, it should have this type of result, because you've already gone through the different styles or the different materials, the different sizes that don't work out to where you've nailed all the details, and everything always does work out how you had planned, because you know exactly what you want and you know how to go about getting that. The shoe trees I absolutely love. It's got my name on them, very well made, fit extremely well. This is the biggest downside of it all, is just they're an absolute pain, absolute pain in the ass to get in and out of the boots. I don't mind doing it. The first time I did it, I was a bit cautious, and it took a while because I didn't want to tear or rip anything, but honestly, like, the boots are extremely well constructed, very solid in every aspect. You just have to kind of know exactly what you're doing as you're removing the shoe tree, and it's not going to damage the boot. You just have to know when to kind of compress the spring, pull back, twist, and pull up. And then when you go to put the shoe tree back in, Guess what? You do the exact opposite. Insert it, twist it, compress the spring, and push it down. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, you get boot trees in a Wholecut Chelsea boot. It's going to be an extremely tight, an extremely snug fitting shoe tree, and there's nothing you can really do about it. It's not a complaint. It's just, it can be a pain sometimes. Hope everybody that was part of this group made to order is as pleased with them as I am, and really looking forward to sharing more. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody's having a good holiday season, and wishing everybody a happy and healthy new year.